Hey everybody, I'm back with some more updates. Today I want to dive right into clarifying the registration process. I know there's been a lot of changing information about how students register for school, so I'm going to clear that up, hopefully. And I'm going to go over the communication that was sent out to families yesterday by our district, and really it looks at the first details of what the online day is going to look like for our students. And then finally, point you to another resource on the district page that I think is valuable with mostly frequently asked questions. There's a lot of questions out there, tons of questions, and there'll be more. But believe it or not, on the website for the district, there are a lot of answers already, and they're adding more answers almost every day. So let's jump right into the registration process. So again, if you go to the district website, there has been some clarification on who needs to register. So I'm going to pull up this link back to the registration page. I did a video a couple days ago, and things have changed quite a bit since then. So the page hasn't changed much when you first hop in, except for, let's scroll to Springfield High School. The main thing is that if you are a current Springfield district student, so if you're an 8th grader that is going to be in 9th grade and you went to Agnes, Hamlin, or Briggs, you do not need to register. If you are a current Springfield High School student and you were with us last year and you intend to stay with us this year, you do not need to register. If you are a new student to Springfield High School, coming from outside the district, you do need to register, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Or if you are a current Springfield High School student and you want to go to a different school within our district, so mainly SPS Online, there's several of you asking about that, maybe A3, maybe some of you got transfers approved for Thurston. Anybody going to a different high school needs to fill out a new registration form. So if you look on the side, here's the link to registration. So you'll see a new student enrollment packet, and it looks the same as my last video. So this is the PDF that's fillable. You can go to all these gray boxes and put the school. So if you're a new student coming to Springfield High School, you'd put Springfield High School here and fill out this as best you can. It's a lot of stuff, and we do apologize, but it really is important to gather as much information as we can. If you are a current Springfield High School student and you want to go to SPS Online full-time or another school in our district, you're going to put the school here. You're going to put SPS Online or whichever school you would like to go to and fill this out. Once you've filled this out, you're going to save it on your desktop if you have a computer, and then if you head back to here, if you're a new student in Springfield, you would add that as an attachment to this. You'd put your student's name up here, and you can put registration, paperwork, attach the PDF, and then submit. Now, here's the tricky part. If you are a current Springfield High School student and you want to go to SPS Online, you're actually going to start, let's go backwards here. Let's go back to the registration page. And instead of choosing Springfield High School, when you scroll down here, you're going to choose SPS Online. Okay, and it looks the same, almost identical, but when you fill out this enrollment paperwork and you save it, you're going to come back here and you're going to attach it to it. It looks identical, but you're actually in the SPS Online form. So when you submit this, it's going to go to the SPS Online folks, and they'll be able to get your paperwork. So even though it looks the same as Springfield High School, it is SPS Online. Or if you're going to Thurston, or if you're going to A3, you would click on their link in as well. Okay, so that is new student information. Now, if you don't want to do this online and it's too cumbersome or too confusing or it's not working, there's been a bunch of people that have had trouble saving documents to this form. I think it only saves like 2 documents. Um, or it's just difficult in general. You can actually pick up a paper copy at the district office. You can pick up a paper copy at the current school where your student goes or is going to. And you can do all this the old-fashioned way on paper. Now, the district office has a drop box outside their location 24 hours a day. You can drop off that material after you're done and drop it in the drop box, and it's safe until it gets picked up. Or you can drop it off at the school, in this case, Springfield High School, during regular business hours, 8 to 4, if you want to do the paper copy. Okay, so it's new students only to Springfield High School, or Springfield High School students that are going to be new to another school within our district. Otherwise, you do not have to register at this time. So if you're a current student staying with us, then you don't have to worry about any of this. I hope that helped. Now, if that changes, stay on the lookout for emails from the district office, but I'll do my best to inform you as well, okay? So speaking of communication from the district, you should have gotten, if you're a family that's connected with our emails, a really long email from the district last night or yesterday, and it went through all of the updates regarding elementary school, middle school, and high school, and more or less what to expect for what that's going to look like online. Now, it doesn't go into a ton of detail, but it gives you at least a structure of what that's going to look like. So I'm going to scroll right away to the high school portion, and this is elementary, middle, and high school. So right away, you can scroll to whichever makes sense for you. And if you have multiple kids, you're going to have to read a couple things. But right away, what we want to do at the high school level is basically connect our students with their teachers 4 days a week. Wednesdays being no connection with the teachers, but you're still learning at home online, okay? And there's kind of an A-B schedule, but it's not called an A-B schedule. So let me explain. If you go to the grid right here, so this is a sample, a structure of what the day might look like. We're basically going to break up the groups, the whole entire school into 2 groups. Call it cohort 1, cohort 2. We might call it like red group, blue group, or whatever, but it's going to be 2 different groups. So cohort 1, if you go across that row there, basically you guys are going to be the morning group. You're going to have direct instruction on Monday for periods 1 and 2, assuming you have classes in both period 1 and 2. And that means you're going to connect with your teacher, your class. You're going to be doing maybe some Zoom or live video or something where you're going to be interacting during the morning. In the afternoon, you're going to be doing remote learning by yourself online. So you probably have, you'll be assigned assignments that you can do on your own, at least for that portion of time. Now, Tuesday, cohort 1 is going to do the same thing, but for periods 3 and 4. So your other 2 classes, if you have them. AM, you'll have direct instruction with your teacher, with your class. In the PM, in the afternoon, you'll be expected to get your work done. Now, on Wednesday, for that group, you're going to be doing some follow-up learning online, but it's not going to be direct instruction. You're not going to have to check in with the teacher. You're not going to be live with the class. So it's going to be working on your own. Moving ahead to Thursday, it's going to repeat the process over again from Monday and Tuesday. So you'll have class in the morning, periods 1 and 2, and in the afternoon, you'll be doing some work on your own, okay? Now that's cohort 1. Cohort 2, you're going to be doing really the same thing, except your independent work is going to be done in the morning, and your direct instruction, your interaction with your teachers and your class is going to be in the afternoon. Okay, so on Monday, you'll have periods 1 and 2 in the afternoon, but you'll be expected to get some work done in the morning. Maybe the first day you won't, but as your teacher starts giving you work. Tuesday, you'll be having periods 3 and 4 in the afternoon and getting some work done in the morning. On Wednesday, it's the same as cohort 1. You'll be doing work on your own. You won't have to check in and such. And then Thursday, Friday, it's a repeat of Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so you're going to have up to 4 classes for this. Now, many of you are used to having 6, 7, and 8 classes. We, as a district, realized that online at this point, during this whole pandemic crisis, it's just too much. Having 8 classes is too much to juggle for anybody. And so we decided to cut it back to 4, and you're going to be working in quarter systems of 9-week chunks. And because you're really working double time on these 4 classes, you're going to get as much credit in 9 weeks as you would have in 18 weeks at the school. Okay, so that's the plan. All right. And there's going to be a lot more details coming out about that, I hope, soon. And as soon as I know them and I can give them to you guys, I will. Okay. So that's the structure of what the online day is going to look like for high school students. And if you have a middle school student, you could scroll up and it's right here. And if you have an elementary school student, you can scroll up and it's going to be here. K through 3 is going to be right in that hybrid model. And 4 and 5, I believe, is going to be remote. But this is a really important communication to go through. It also has transportation information. So for for kindergarten and grades 1 through 12, if you want to sign your student up for transportation when they start going to a building, then we need you guys to fill out this form. So high schoolers, you're going to fill out this form. It's a long one, but if the sooner you give us this information, the better, so that we can expect when we go back to school, even in a hybrid model, we can get your student on the bus. It's a long form, it's a Google form, but once you submit it, it's done. So this is for transportation to and from school. Okay, we need all students who wish to have transportation during this school year at some point to fill this out. Doesn't have to be now, but sooner than later. So transportation, it also has stuff for meal service, kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. And then also I wanted to get into the SPS online piece here. You can kind of look at information. If you're interested in SPS Online, which is our District K through 12 online only program, instead of having your student connected with their current school and possibly going into a hybrid model when we can, then you can click on that link. You can also go right to their site and you can read a lot about what they use online. It's called Fuel Ed, why their teachers are a little bit different than ours as far as their teachers are connecting with only online students. Our teachers are connecting with students that typically are in their classroom, and just how they interact and how they do things differently. Now, if you're a student that signs up with SPS Online, and let's say you do the first 9 weeks with them, and it wasn't what you expected, and you want to go back to your home school, in this case, Springfield High School, whether we're online or not, you can make that transition back at the natural break. But if after 2 or 3 weeks you're not having a good time, you can't just jump ship and go back to us, and then 2 or 3 weeks, then jump ship and go back to SPS Online. We don't want that type of movement. It's going to be too chaotic. So you've got to choose one or the other. So either Springfield High School online to start or SPS online to start, but you can make a switch after the quarter's over if you want. And likewise, if you start with us and you want to try SPS online after the 9 weeks, there'll be opportunities to do that. But you can read about all that good stuff here, okay? So that is, in a nutshell, the communication from the district. It says a lot more than that. I would encourage you to read that email if you got it. Now I'm going to fast forward here a little bit and go to the district site again. and I want to head over to this Return to Learn link and to frequently asked questions. If you guys haven't been to this site, I would strongly urge that you scan through it. It has quite a few, all these blue links basically are questions that have come up through the community, through the staff, through the students, and usually they're asked over and over and over again, so they put some answers here. And so they have quite a few questions already gathered. So for example, will students and staff be screened for symptoms when they come to school? Yes. And it drops down and explains that, and you can put it back. Will technology be provided for students to learn remotely? Yes. Every student will be provided with a take-home device for learning remotely, and so forth. So if you have questions, come here, scan through these. Maybe your question is answered here or at least addressed. And this list will be growing. I'm sure it's growing probably every day or at least every week. So you can come back to this site and try to get some answers. If your question is not on this site, please reach out to us. You can email us. You can get on the district's Facebook page. I mean, they have social media that they like to gather community input from. But there are multiple ways that you can get some information. We're probably not going to know all the answers. We definitely aren't going to know all the answers yet. But as soon as we have information and it's not necessarily going to change in a heartbeat, we're going to get it out to you as quickly as we can. Okay, so more information to come. I hope that has updated you guys, and I'll be back, I'm sure, soon. Okay, have a great day.